Welcome to the SparcStart TA series. We have a series where we talk to industry leaders, people who are really innovative and on the leading edge with video and have great stories to tell that's valuable to everyone. Today, I'm really pleased to introduce Carrie Corcoran, who I've known for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. But Carrie, let you introduce yourself, if you will.
Thanks, Maury. I appreciate that. And thanks so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. I've been a long fan of SparcStart from the beginning with hiring manager video. So I'm excited to be here. And I'm with Carrie Cares Employer Brand Consulting, and I am a senior leader in the employer brand recruitment marketing space. I have over 10 years experience doing this type of work, and I'm a firm believer in video and using it to attract, and not only attract, but to retain talent within your employer brand strategy. And that is something that I help companies do. I build that strategy. I help with the launch, training recruiters, and getting hiring managers to optimize those tools as well as other groups within a company. And so that's one thing that I do with Carrie Cares Consulting. Other than that, I can build your recruitment marketing roadmap. I can look at what you're doing for your EVP as far as content strategy, the channels that you can optimize, and building around recruiting operations excellence. That's what I specialize in.
And you've had such a strong background, both corporate, different industries, that you really bring a lot of experience to that. And you've been a video pioneer. You were doing video when everyone else was going, gee, we probably ought to be doing video, but I'm not sure we're ready for that yet. And you are out there doing it. Why do you like video? I mean, you've had to push against the grain when everybody else was happy to do paragraphs of text and lists of bullet points. You thought there was another way to communicate with candidates. Why? What sparked that in you?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I worked for Regional Bank back in 2018, our recruiters had gone to TA Week and they met with a video vendor and they really liked the technology. And so they brought that back to me and I reviewed it, and immediately I said, oh my gosh, we have got to add video to our talent attraction strategy. Now, at that time, I wasn't under employer brand, I was under talent attraction. So I was top of funnel only and supported the strategy on that side. And I told my boss about it. She was like, yes, let's go ahead. Let's do this. This looks amazing. This is a great way to get in front of candidates, and not only do that, have hiring managers involved and showcase employees and tell their stories. So I was super excited that I got the green light on that, and it was approved in 3 weeks, which
that's unheard of.
As you know, is unheard of when you're working with an enterprise company.
Right.
Right. And so I was focused on other things during that 3 weeks and didn't realize it was going to be approved that quickly. And so I had not built the launch strategy and how we were going to go ahead and use it yet. And so it was kind of an oh crap moment when it was approved, and I just had to make it work and make it happen. And I did. So but lesson learned, make sure that you build the strategy so you're ready to go at launch.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of people who are all excited. They've got like a half a dozen ideas of videos they want to create, and they go out and they create those half dozen, and then they get sucked back into their day in, day out, and have never put together a calendar or never thought about what are all the different things that candidates want to know that we could communicate on video. And they get a little lost. So we're real big believers in having a strategy, understanding why you're doing video, why you want to do it, and then really putting together a calendar. We're also big believers in saying, like, who else could you put in charge? Is there somebody on learning and development that could be responsible for doing a video on, here's what we want for our people in L&D, and here's our philosophy,
right.
And let them do it 1 month, and do all of that. So one of the things that we really talk about video all the time is how credible it is. We've seen studies about, candidates think that current employees are more credible than any other source of information. They think informal video is far more credible than the fully produced, the drone shot of the headquarters building and, all of the logos spinning around and coming in and so forth. But why do you think credibility really matters? Or what do you do with a video to make sure it's credible? How do you leverage that and make the most of the potential there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I truly believe in being transparent and being authentic, and companies need to embrace that. And one of the ways that they can embrace that is through video and letting their employees tell their stories. It's so much more impactful to hear a story from someone who has been at a company and they've lived it day in and day out. And I want to hear about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't want to just hear about how great a company is to work for. And I know candidates don't want that either. And I see, and I may be going off a little bit off tangent here, but that's where I see where companies, yes, they're invested in employer brand, they're invested in their recruitment marketing strategies and in using video, but they're not being as authentic as they could be with candidates. And that's where I see there's room for improvement on that side of it. Yeah. Because if I'm a candidate, I do want to know, what am I getting myself into? And I want to hear from that hiring manager.
Yeah, sadly, we see an awful lot of really generic video out there where, either people are asking employees very generic questions. What's it like to work here? What's a typical day? And the answers are always, oh, there is no typical day. Every day is different. No 2 days are the same. We've put together what we call giggle reels here, where we've gone, like across industries and across companies and just do the same thing. And the other one that we really cringe over is, what's the best thing about this? Oh, people, our people.
Oh my gosh.
How many and you know what, guys? Every company has people.
They do, don't they?
But when people get down to telling a specific, here's how a teammate supported me. Here's how we collaborate with the people in this team. And they get, rather than being asked a superficial question where you get a superficial answer, that they really talk. And one of the things that we know is that you don't want to script your employees, right?
Correct.
We've seen great stuff out of you where you let people talk. And if they or oh or lose a word for a minute, that's the way we all talk. And that almost gives the video more credibility. But when somebody reads from a script, you can tell that they're doing,
one of the best videos that I had the pleasure of being involved in shooting was for the consumer banking team when I was at the regional bank. And we had 3 hiring managers, and this was more of a leadership profile hiring manager series. And one of the women in the video cracked up after she said something, and we used it, and people loved it. And she was so afraid that her leader would not think it was professional. And it was so authentic. It was real. It was raw. And it was amazing. And so I always remember her laughter in that video. And sadly, they don't have it up on their website anymore.
Oh, what a shame. Yeah,
I know.
Those moments can be really wonderful. All right, last question for you. What's the video that you made? What was the content of the video that you initiated that you think made the most impact, that really either persuaded candidates or communicated something important? What did something other than people? What do you think is what's on your pride reel?
That's a great question. So I would say it's not just one video. I would say it was a whole series. When I was at that regional bank, video obviously was very new, and the project management office had a brand new senior leader, and they were in the process of transforming that division, that department, from what it had been before. It didn't have a good reputation prior to that. New leadership coming in, really strong, engaged employees and team members. And so we piloted with the entire PMO team and produced spotlight videos, everything from someone who had started out as an intern and showcasing her story and her path and her development and what that looked like, showcasing the couple of different leaders within that group and what they were looking for in candidates and what it would be like to work on the team and the team dynamics. And we even showcased someone who was contract, and they were then transitioned into an employee and what his story was like.
I love it.
And even beyond those different team value propositions within the team and the different leaders, we also did the culture and the values and tied that into it, because the bank was very charitable, very giving, and that meant a lot to different team members. So it was talking about the different value or giving back, or how do you give back to the community? What have you seen since you've been here? And just showcasing those stories and the team. And the feedback from candidates was phenomenal.
Sure. Yeah, I absolutely. Yeah, you would take it and translate. You can say we're very charitable, but when someone says, here's what I do in my community, or here's how the bank supports me in what I do for my community, that rings with so much more credibility than just a statement. We support the communities in which we work. Those are great statements, and we hope they're always true. But if you really want to persuade somebody, you need to bring it down to the specifics and let people do it. I love it.
Exactly.
And by doing a series, there's, repetition really builds credibility, right? You hear the same things from several different people. They use different words. They've got different takes on it, but those values come through. And we're big believers in really building a robust video library, because rather
100%.
than doing the 1-2 minute hero video that's going to unfortunately sound like so many others, when you've got a really strong video library like the series you're talking about, it's such valuable content. It really, you can't beat it. Wonderful.
It is.
Great.
And so the thing is, we surveyed all of the people who were hired, who in the candidate experience, and asked them, did you see a video? What resonated with you? And would you have liked to have seen more? So here was the kicker. Some recruiters were using the video in their engagement, others weren't. And so what we found out is that candidates even wanted more video, and they wanted to see, okay, who else is on this team? What does this dynamic look like? And it was introducing them to people like almost like a pre-introduction. So when you would meet someone for the first time, you'd already know a little bit about them, and they really appreciated having that information and even asked for more. And some people said, well, I didn't see any video. It's like, oh, well, I lost out.
Well, and especially with so much recruiting going on remotely, where candidates aren't coming into the office place anymore. Think of the number of people they get to see and meet and hear from. They get to pick up the vibe. In remote, it's really hard for them to get a feel for what's it going to be like there. And the more faces you can put on it, the more they feel like they're getting to know people there, a sense of it. It's so powerful. And I love the fact you did some survey and some data to it, because, we're finding all the time that when recruiters use video, they just get more engagement. When we were just talking to a group of campus recruiters who, they often make hires to their interns at the end of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
They need to keep those candidates engaged for almost a full year before they start. And how do you get them to feel like, they're part of the company and they're getting to know people and stuff? Just pinging videos at them every couple of weeks. Here's talk to this person. Here's somebody, talk about this. It's so powerful. So we love that idea.
Yeah,
Carrie,
go ahead. Just one last thing. It builds not only connection, it builds engagement. And that's true for candidates. It's true if whether you're internal or whether you're external. And I'm a huge believer in video and using it throughout the entire employee life cycle, and not just, heck, if a company wanted to be really innovative, they could, when they're exiting someone, they could even have a video and build a process around that. I haven't seen any companies do that effectively. So just throwing that idea out there.
You and I could talk all day. And
we could.
Since we're big believers in short videos, we know more people watch them when they're short. Sadly, I'm going to wrap this up so we can at least get people introduced to all of this. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it's always good to talk to you. Thanks.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Maury. Happy holidays too.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.